Hi again, and welcome to another exciting episode of Litigation Whiteboard. Attorney Steve Vondran here with you. We are talking in this video about motions in limine. Motions in limine. Okay, so I've had a couple requests for this, people asking me, what is the motion in limine? So we're going to talk a little bit about that, but let's take a look. Let's head to Attorney Steve's Litigation Whiteboard. Okay, so here we are. By the way, I just got a trademark on Litigation Whiteboard, so I'm pretty proud of that. So I appreciate your comments, your support. People have been helping us build this channel, so I just wanted to thank you before we started here. Now, motion in limine essentially is what we refer to as a pretrial motion. This is a motion which is a form, it's a document that you're going to file with the courts, and you're going to be asking the judge to get rid of bad evidence, to keep it out. Let's take a simple example. Say you're in a personal injury case and somebody found out, you're the plaintiff, and the defendant found out that you were previously convicted of shoplifting. And the defendant wants to use that to show you're a bad person. Well, that doesn't seem really fair that something like that should come out in a court of law. So that may be something that's appropriate for a motion in limine. You're basically asking the judge to keep that bad evidence out. You could also be seeking to admit the evidence or limit the evidence. Okay, so a motion in limine, typically in a case, your plaintiff is going to have a little stack of motion in limine. Sometimes it might be a big stack. The defendant's going to have a stack or a big stack, and the judge has to go through and rule on the various motions that are being filed. So usually one party's trying to keep some evidence out. The other party wants to keep some evidence out. One common one is defendants that are insurance companies. They often don't want the jury to know that they're an insurance company because they might have unlimited funds to write $1 million check. So that may be something you also see. But let's talk about these motions here. Again, let me get my pen. I like to check off, as you know, as my viewers know, I like to check it off as it goes. We like to keep that bad evidence out. We don't want the jury to hear it, okay? Again, this can be before trial. I've got my trial right there. And this is something that's usually before trial. Also something you might want to try at trial. If something pops up, you may say, I'd like to make an oral motion. Come sidebar, and I want to talk about a motion in limine. But the way this normally comes up is before trial. You're trying to get the court to exclude, limit, or admit things. Okay, so you have your motion. I'm going to talk a little bit about the format of the motion, how you might want to put this together if you're working on this. First thing is you want to have the evidence that's at issue. In the case that I talked about, maybe it's a criminal conviction record showing shoplifting or something along those lines. And so the evidence at issue would be the plaintiff or the defendant trying to admit character evidence. You want to state your objection. In this case, it would be character evidence. And this is just a short list. Actually, there's a lot of different objections, a lot of different legal objections that you can do. And we're going to actually put together a video on that. So make sure you subscribe to our channel so you get that video as well when we launch it. But we're going to have all the different objections. So you want to state with specificity the evidence that's at issue. For example, the character evidence report, the police report, the record of the conviction. You want to state what your objection is, and you want to talk about it. Talk about why this should not be allowed. Courts don't like character evidence. Do some analysis, cite your case law coming from your jurisdiction, some persuasive case law that would make the judge rule in your favor. So you're trying to get, if you're bringing the motion, you're the moving party, you want the judge to sustain your motion, not to overrule it, okay? So that's really the format that you're looking for. And, this may be a page, this may be a half a page, could be a couple pages, depends on your judges. Now realize some judges don't like motions in limine. They think it's a waste of time. They think it's, as I put down here, you can't try your case on a motion in limine. So you can't have a stack this high and trying to exclude evidence, and you can drive judges nuts if you have a big old stack and you're trying to argue and you're trying to try your case on a motion in limine. So you don't want to do that. Really, ideally, you'd like to pick 2 or 3, maybe 4 or 5 issues that are really key to the case. Like obviously you don't want this character evidence coming in. I would say that would be pretty key. I don't need to bring that in. So that may be a key issue, but don't make every factual issue something that you're trying to say is irrelevant or it's hearsay evidence. And we'll talk about those in a second. So, they can be written or oral. You can't try your case on a motion in limine. Be realistic. Pick the winners that you think you can actually win. And remember, even if your motion is denied or it's overruled, you can still raise the objection once you get to trial, okay? So you can still get to trial. They can say, is it true that you were convicted of shoplifting? Objection, that's completely irrelevant, Your Honor, so forth and so on. And the judge may say, sustained. Judge may say, I agree. Judge may say, overruled, and you may have to actually, talk about shoplifting, but that's the way it goes. But at least you would preserve that for appeal. That may be an issue that you raise on appeal, that it wasn't fair. The jury heard the evidence of shoplifting, they were tainted, and it's not a fair decision. Okay, so again, the final results of a motion in limine is the jury doesn't hear it. Now, there's an old saying that you can't unring the bell, and that's what I mean when I say make your objection at trial. If the jury hears it, there's not much you can do. It may be grounds for an appeal. Okay, what are the different, we'll finish it off right here. Lots of different things you can challenge in a motion in limine. Your objection, what's at issue. It could be expert witness qualifications. You could have something that's totally hearsay. Some third party told another party and the plaintiff's trying to use that as evidence. You say, well, that's a hearsay, or something is completely irrelevant. You say, well, they're wanting to talk about my dog breeding business. Has absolutely nothing to do with this. Why even bring it up? It's a waste of time. That may be a grounds for bringing a motion in limine. And the last one I'm going to put here is probative versus prejudicial. Now, that's a situation where, prejudicial information could still come in. But if the probative value, the evidentiary value is completely outweighed by the prejudice, that may be something you could have kicked out of the hearing from the trial as well. So that could be a lot of different things. But again, don't go crazy calling every single thing prejudicial. Some things are going to be prejudicial, and those just need to be heard by the trier of fact, the jury. Okay, so that's a brief overview of motion in limine. Hope you understand a little bit about that. If you have any more questions, comments, make sure put them down there in the comment bar. Love to get your comments. And don't be afraid to share our videos and subscribe to our channel. Attorney Steve, I got to run. I got lots to do. Take care. We'll talk again. Bye now.